Welcome into episode number 146 of The Voice Behind the Voice. I'm Sean Aronson, the TV and radio broadcaster for the St. Paul Saints, an independent minor league baseball team in the Twin Cities. I always forget that this time of the year until I start getting the proverbial LinkedIn congratulations on your work anniversary. Just, what are they? Just the basic messages that are sent. It's people are, and again, I'm not trying to kill all these people that are linked to me on LinkedIn, but there's just some sort of general button you hit to say congratulations. It's not even you penned it yourself. But I forget that in February, back in 2007, that I started right about this time of the year, I started my tenure with the St. Paul Saints. So officially 12 years right around the day and going on my 13th season. And I'm sure I've told this story over the last year or two, but drove to St. Paul into a blizzard storm. It took me 2 days to drive from Fort Myers, Florida, up to St. Paul. And on the second day, as I was driving into St. Paul, I got caught in a snowstorm in Iowa, and me and about 10 to 12 cars pulled off at the exact same exit, right about at the exact same time, to all check into the same hotel because you just couldn't go anymore. And thankfully, I was one of the first or second cars to get off, or else I'd be, still waiting in line, or probably they wouldn't have had room for me. And then my first day at work with the Saints, I am driving into the parking lot, which now is the old ballpark. And to show you how little experience I had driving in snow, and again, I lived in Pennsylvania, I lived in Colorado. I really didn't have a car in Colorado, though. And in Pennsylvania, I could probably count on one hand the amount of snowstorms I had in the 2 years that I was there. But the person who got to the office before me that day, you see the tire tracks in the snow, and the smart thing to do, the intelligent thing to do, is you follow those tire tracks into the parking lot. I was not that smart and did not follow the tire tracks, and instead got stuck at the base of the parking lot, so thereby blocking everybody else from getting in. And so, new guy having to be pushed into the parking lot by your coworkers that you have not met yet to get you into the parking lot. So that was my welcome to the St. Paul Saints moment about this time, exactly 12 years ago, as I get ready for my 13th season. And only fitting because, we had snow here yesterday, supposed to have more snow here tonight, and it, never ending. But that was my welcome to St. Paul moment. So, but it's been great. It's been successful, and it's been enjoyable, and they can't get me out of this place, apparently, even if I wanted to get out of here. So just a little story for you. And with that, let's get to episode number 146. It is Jerry Recco of Rutgers men's basketball. Now, you may say, why does that name ring a bell? Where does that name ring a bell? Why does it sound familiar to me? Well, maybe you know Rutgers basketball. Maybe you know Columbia basketball. He did that as well. But chances are you know the name Jerry Recco from WFAN. The Fan is easily the biggest sports station within a state, so non-national sports station out there, right? Mike and the Mad Dog, they got their start, and everybody else that's on there, and some of the troubles that they've had recently. And Jerry Recco has been a staple at WFAN for a couple of decades now. And we talked about, obviously, his play-by-play and how he's gotten to Rutgers. But if you are an FAN fan, and I'll be the first to admit, I know of WFAN, I'm familiar with WFAN, I know what's put them on the map, but I really never listened to WFAN. But if you're a fan, there are some excellent stories in here. Some Don Imus stories, Craig Carton stories, which has, within the last year or so has become was a national story. Some Mike and the Mad Dog stories. There's some good stuff. Maybe some stuff that's brand new to people out there. Maybe some stuff you've heard before. But Jerry was very open and honest. I asked him, and he wasn't afraid to, tell stories. Maybe nothing earth-shattering. Obviously, he's not trying to get himself fired, but some good stuff. Maybe some behind-the-scenes things that if you're an FAN fan, you'd like to get some more information about. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, you can do so iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media, Twitter @TheVoiceBTV, Facebook, facebook.com/TheVoiceBTV, and you can always email me, thevoicebtv@gmail.com. All right, let's get to it. Episode number 146 with Jerry Recco of Rutgers men's basketball. JW, he's the man that's going to spill my secrets when I leave here. Roll the open.
You got to remember, when the good times were good with Mike and Chris, they were off the charts amazing.
Yeah.
When the bad times were bad, it was tense. I happened to be in there for one of the bad times.
Sure.
Not the full 6 months.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun, but there was a good 3-week window in there where it was bad. It was really bad. It was a very rough environment because they just didn't get along, and they would be arguing about everything, and it would spill over into the newsroom and into the control room.